Hey everybody, Off the Mic Sports Network here, another edition of Off the Top Rope. So an interesting Instagram from one Dwayne the Rock Johnson, and it's no secret on this channel I've been critical of him. Um, but this was very interesting, and one thing about Rock is he doesn't do anything if there isn't a reason to do it. So he was wearing a New Japan Pro Wrestling T-shirt in a photo that was publicly on his Instagram, which has somewhere around 1 million followers. He's one of the most followed, athletes, entertainers, whatever in the entire world. And right on his Instagram is a picture of him wearing a New Japan Pro Wrestling T-shirt. What does that tell you? That did more to get New Japan Pro Wrestling talked about in the States. By the way, they had I think they had Windy City Riot, which was in Chicago just the other night or something like that. But Rock, by doing that, got New Japan talked about more maybe in the last year. And you want to know who has had like a loose partnership with the Forbidden Door since like about 2022 or something like that? AEW. I'm here to tell you, man, I think WWE has taken the Forbidden Door from AEW. AEW tried to make it cool. They basically what they did is they hired away all of New Japan's talent, like Kazuchika Okada's there, Will Ospreay's there, Kenny Omega was the first really one to cross the line from New Japan, and now you're looking at it right now. All of the mainstays there are gone. Hiroshi Tanahashi's running the place, so what's to say that WWE is not going to start working with New Japan Pro Wrestling and actually do a partnership? Because we've already seen it before that they have done a Forbidden Door-esque type of thing with TNA. So this is one of the other main reasons why I continue to say that AEW's in some trouble here. They're in some trouble because you can't just be working with people and then just buy out every aspect of it. Look at what Tony Khan did. He bought out Ring of Honor. And, that company is irrelevant. And, this Forbidden Door concept that, was such a great success, like the first year, they just did their third Forbidden Door pay-per-view last year. It was the least interesting pay-per-view that maybe they've ever done because there was nobody there to care about. The most interesting match there led to the launching pad for Stephanie Vaquera to go to WWE, which was her end goal the whole time. So, AEW, again, this by one photo, The Rock did more to promote New Japan Pro Wrestling than AEW has done as a partner to them for the last, 3 years. WWE is starting to make things cool and starting to make things like, the Forbidden Door. They're stealing stuff away from AEW. And so all the things that made AEW cool are starting to dwindle by the wayside. And that is not a good thing. Because look at the case in point. They're hanging on to like these loose milestones to just like, or these milestones that mean nothing to like make themselves feel good about themselves. It's just like, what are we doing? I mean, we had a New Japan title defended at Double or Nothing last year. Actually, we didn't. It was just basically, a eliminator match or whatever it was. So a New Japan title was loosely thrown on television because it was held by an AEW star. So it's just like I look at this and like I look at when, AEW partnered or sort of had a working relationship with TNA, and look what happened there. It didn't benefit the partner at all. And I actually think that WWE potentially could do some good for they've done some good for TNA in highlighting some of their stars. I think they could do some good for New Japan Pro Wrestling. And what this makes me wonder is what does the future hold really in terms of like, the relationship between that? Because Rock didn't put that up on his Instagram by accident. Okay. One thing, Rock is not like one of these, and like I said, I've been critical of him. He's not the type of guy who didn't put that up there for a very specific reason. Something is cooking here. No pun intended, because if you smell what the Rock is cooking, like clearly something is going on where something could potentially be in the works. And what I've gotten the sense of from watching this AEW product is like they're just trying to throw shit at the wall and hope that it sticks. And like, The Forbidden Door concept was good initially, but then it started to dwindle down and dwindle down and dwindle down to the point where it was last year, last June, where you had the main event of that show be, two AEW stars. It wasn't about, collaboration anymore. It was just sort of throwing things together. And then the biggest noteworthy crossover match was your star, AEW star, Mercedes Moné, beating Stephanie Vauquer, and Stephanie coming out of that match a bigger star to the point where she went to WWE and now was a double champion for a brief time and now is the NXT Women's Champion. And that's the best women's division in all of professional wrestling right now. So I think WWE is snatching the Forbidden Door people from AEW. And that's not good, because that's one of the things that AEW had on WWE. So keep your eyes on that. It'll be very interesting. Anyway, thanks so much for watching this edition of Off the Top Rope. I'll see you guys soon. Bye-bye.